students, I'm so glad you're tuning in for a quick video that could save your brain. I call this one a quick fix or a quickie. And such things are very rare on this channel. This is Menopause University, and I'm Menopause Taylor, and I give you very detailed videos on everything having to do with menopause. And I present entire units on everything. So I always tell you to watch all of my videos in order. But I'm a realist. I know there are some people who will just refuse to do so. And although it will be to their own detriment, I don't want it to be detrimental to their brains. So this video is somewhat of a review. I've just given you 7 separate videos on dietary options for preventing Alzheimer's. Each one addressed a different important issue that is critical to your success in preventing Alzheimer's. But because they are all so important and you need to use them all together, I decided to give you a quickie video to summarize them all in one place. So the title of this video is Food for Thought, Quick Fix Dietary Options for Preventing Alzheimer's. This reminds me of the kind of thing we used to have at Rice University, where I went to college, at the end of the semester when you were supposed to already know everything in order to take the final exam. There would be a review session. And most students attended them because they didn't already know what they should have known from attending all the classes during the semester. This was the case for students who skipped class from time to time. I don't think I've ever skipped a class. The mere thought of it mortifies me. I even remember being really sick for a few days once during elementary school, and I forced my mother to go to the school and get all my books, and I studied them even though I was really sick. And when I returned to school, I was ahead of the class. Anyway, I always thought those review sessions at the end of the semester were worthless, and that's because I was such a nerd that I was ready for the exam long before exam time. I was even excited about it. So I couldn't understand how getting together with a bunch of other students and a tutor at the 11th hour could possibly do any good. It seemed to me that cramming the night before an exam was a complete waste of time, and I thought it made more sense to just read the Bible at that point. So the mere idea of being with all those other students the night before exam just made me feel exhausted, and I just went to bed early the night before finals. But what I'm going to do for you here in this video today is akin to what I imagine they did in those reviews. I'm going to give you a quick fix crash course on the whole concept of using diet to prevent Alzheimer's. I imagine that students attending those review sessions at Rice wished that they had just attended class like they were supposed to, and I hope this video makes you wish you just watched all my videos in order like you're supposed to. And the great thing is that you still can. Now, for purposes of organization, I'm going to keep this really simple and just present the information in the format of who, what, when, where, how, and why. I'll be drawing on the 7 videos that preceded this one and showing you some of the things you would have seen before if you'd attended all the classes. But I'll also create a hierarchical flow chart that includes everything in a summarized fashion. Okay, so starting with who? Well, that would be you, my dear, a menopausal woman. And that's the most important thing of all. As a menopausal woman, your metabolism slows down, your physiology changes, your distribution of fat changes, and your body's sense of what constitutes starvation changes. So, you cannot ignore your menopausal status anytime you address anything about your diet. And whose brain are you trying to save by getting this education on menopause and Alzheimer's? Yours. So we'll start our flow chart with you. For what will list the actual foods that can prevent Alzheimer's. Now this includes the information from 2 previous videos. Video 264 on antioxidant and anti-inflammatory foods, and video 265 on proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. The antioxidant foods are a bunch of spices, berries, brightly colored fruits, various veggies, soy, black, and white beans, oats, rye, and whole wheat, nuts and olive oil, dark chocolate, and red wine. The anti-inflammatory foods include fatty fish, green leafy vegetables, fruits and berries, nuts, and olive oil. Notice that I'm not giving you any detail here. It's just a quickie, no frills. Then, in video 265, you learned about the proteins, carbohydrates, and fats that are food for thought. If you attended that class that day, you'll recall this chart. The bottom line was that you need proteins with leucine, carbs with fiber, and fats with omega-3 fatty acids and cholesterol. So if we add all that to our flow chart, it looks like this. And that's all there is to the what in terms of actual foods. And there's a lot of overlap in these foods that constitute what to eat, proving that these foods are food for thought for many reasons. Next is when. Now this taps into the timing of your meals or the frequency with which you feed your brain. And we discussed this in video 263 on intermittent fasting. The bottom line there was that your brain wants and needs fuel from food frequently. You should feed it every couple of hours. Lengthening the time between meals is akin to fighting Mother Nature. And it also addresses the regularity of your meals at the same time each day. This is all about adhering to the daily rhythm of your digestive tract. So you should eat frequently and regularly. Here it is on our flow chart. Next is where. Now, this is really about the need to do more of your own food preparation in order to give your brain food for thought that is fresh and prevent Alzheimer's. It means that you'll prepare food in your own kitchen. This is what we addressed in video 267 on fresh foods versus processed versus fortified and enriched foods. If you get your food in any way that is a shortcut, you are not giving your brain food for thought. Of course, this is ironic because here I am giving you a shortcut tutorial on how to prevent Alzheimer's with diet while telling you that shortcuts in your diet will give you Alzheimer's. Tisk, tisk, tisk. The farther you get from fresh, natural food, the worse it is for your brain. So processed, pre-cooked, packaged, instant food like that is all out. Fast food and quite a bit of restaurant food is out too. There is no way you know what's really in your food when you get it from other sources like restaurants, fast food joints, or out on the run. So it goes back to the quote, location, location, location. Cook and eat at home. Eat in, not out. Here's our flow chart. Now we come to how. This pertains to how much food you eat. And we discussed this in video 263 with regard to calorie restriction. Restricting your calories is good as long as you don't skip meals or decrease the frequency of your meals to do it. Both when and how play into how much you eat. The big difference between the two pertains to whether or not you're fighting with Mother Nature. You can restrict calories either way, and restricting calories does prevent Alzheimer's, but it all depends on how you do it. Eating less prevents Alzheimer's. Eating less frequently does not. Here's our chart again. And finally, why? Why is the sum total of all these things in terms of their contribution to preventing Alzheimer's? The goal of all these measures is to encourage buildup of your brain and prevent breakdown of your brain. These foods and practices serve the purpose of giving your brain what it wants and needs. Why? To prevent Alzheimer's disease. So let's complete our flowchart. I guess you could say that quick fix food is as useless for preventing Alzheimer's as a quick fix education on it. They're both an illusion. It's no more possible to save your brain with a quickie tutorial than it is with quickie food. So how's that for a quickie? If you like shortcuts like this, I hope this gives you what you need. I don't think it's nearly as fun as the whole education, but different strokes for different folks, as they say. That does it for our video on the dietary options for preventing Alzheimer's. It's the last one of the whole group. Join me next week when I'll address something called the 3 R's, and I won't tell you what the 3 R's are until then. Go to menopausetailor.me to schedule consultations. You know, I do them with women all over the world. So no matter where you live, I can help you personally. You can go to Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to follow me. Subscribe right here and now. And I'll tell you goodbye until next time. Bye.